I am a father to 3 children ranging in ages 7 months to 8 years old. While I do not know everything about parenting, I do feel as if I have a good insight into today's parenting standard. This is Channing, he's my youngest, and he is 7 months old. This is my beautiful wife and my daughter Skylar, who is 4 years old. And this is myself and my son Logan, who is 8 years old. When it comes to parenting, there are a few main factors to consider. The first is taking into regard the financial responsibility of caring for your children. It is also important to recognize the significance of being in a married relationship. Not only is that how God intended it to be, but it creates a more stable and secure environment for the children. Finally, it is important to consider how being a parent may affect your current lifestyle and knowing how to be accepting of the changes that come with being a parent. You must learn to be selfless and patient and know that your children depend solely on you. Parenting trends have changed tremendously. In today's world, it is more common to see young, non-married couples start families as opposed to generations before who found it to be inappropriate to have children outside of marriage. There is also a larger range of first-time parents in today's day and age. I have found it to be extremely common in today's world in which new parents are in their 30s and 40s as well as their early 20s. The stigma of being married and having children doesn't seem to be as relevant anymore. There are many couples who have no desire to have no children at all. There are definitely advantages to parenting in the 21st century. With technology being as important as it is, we see a lot more children being privy to computer coding in a more digitalized world. Kids today get to experience more creativity as well as more expressive freedom. There is a lack in a fear of failure, and there is a lot more opportunity to take risks and strive for independence. However, on the flip side, there are many disadvantages to being a 21st century parent. Due to the significance of technology, there is a fear of easy access to children. Children have become too dependent on screen time, and we are unable to 100% monitor what they are exposed to. In my observations, children today are too far reliant on technology and not as likely to go outside and play. Sometimes it causes a lack of understanding outside of computers. With social media being as relevant as it is today, it tends to create expectations with appearance, material objects, and social status. Being a parent in the 21st century requires different approaches at parenting. Oftentimes, scrolling through social media, you can easily identify the different parenting styles and disciplinary techniques that have come about through the years. I feel as if this chart, which shows the dimensions of parenting, very accurately displays one of two ways in which you are a parent. You are either accepting and very responsive to your children, on one hand, or, on the other hand, you're very demanding, you're self-assertive, and you're control. Most parents fall into one of these dimensions. There's obviously much more to parenting, but I just feel as if these two dimensions most accurately represent parents and their behavior towards their children. This chart shows 4 different parenting types that I feel most accurately represent parents. The first being the authoritarian, who is very demanding, expects a lot of control, has a low level of acceptance and responsiveness. This parent is very hard on their child. The second being the authoritative parent, who is moderately demanding and expects control, but is open about communication, trust, and acceptance. These parents are more encouraging towards their children. The third type of parenting is permissive parenting. This has a high level of acceptance, responsiveness, and is not demanding. These parents lack parental control. The last type of parenting is uninvolved parenting. These are those that are not responsive or demanding, and they often fail to monitor or supervise their child's behavior. In one academic journal, there is a list of 5 types of frustrations that lead to parenting. The first being that parenting requires one, to learn attitudes and techniques that are different from those of their parents. 2, parents today rear their children in a pluralist society characterized by diverse and conflicting values, in which parents are only one of several influences on their children. Parents also feel anxious and guilty about their performance. Number 4 is changing goal from one best technique to another. Number 5 states that society does not offer parents much psychological or social support as it should, since parenting is difficult. A separate scholarly journal explains what good parenting is. The term parenting is often used as it refers to a single concept, when it is really a multifaceted notion comprising parenting styles and behaviors, the quality of the parent-child relationship, parenting activities, and more general caring activities. Our focus here is specifically on parenting practices, that is, direct parent-child activity. The journal goes on to explain that practices are important because it is through the doing of family life that expectations and daily reality are constructed. It is also practices which have been referred to most prominently in recent governmental think tank and media coverage of parenting. In this article, we concentrate specifically on education-related activities, joint leisure pursuits, and eating together. Family activities. One Bible verse that my wife and I really like is that of Proverbs 22:6, which says, "Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it." This verse is important to us as our children, who are so young in age and are very vulnerable, are given a solid foundation on which they learn and understand who their Lord and Savior is. Our only hope is that one day they will do the same for their children and their children's following children.